Hey there, I have one I like to call the fully loaded speed skater today. So what I have here, can zoom in for a second. These are just an Amazon 5-pound leg weight. I could go maybe max of about 10, really strong guy, maybe a little bit more if you wanted to push this. And I have this Hyperwear Sandbell, 10 pounds for my demo purposes. I could go up to 20, 30 pounds, probably max. And I have my dumbbells as an option. I could use any kind of hand weight that I want to play around with. I've used Indian clubs, things like that. And I'm going to show you a little demo with the kettlebells as well. So we put on this other leg weight here and show you this position. First of all, you want to be proficient with a regular speed skater first in most cases. If you want to start loading one part of the pattern, that's probably the smartest way to go. So again, just a basic speed skater to give you that demo first off is just coming back, reaching back with my hand, not so much up. Up's gonna happen naturally, and I'm gonna reach back. Try not to turn my toe out too far. I want my toe pointed down and in more or less this way to keep my hip in good alignment. I don't have to be perfect, but I want to be pretty good where I'm not just bobbing and weaving all around. I want this to be we're loaded into this quadruped position. So we also want to be stacked over our joints here. We don't want to be sitting forward or back, leaning one way or the other for this purpose here. Just like our base structure for our crawling, if we want to think about it that way. So back of the neck, nape of the neck here, I could try this loaded on top of my head. I usually prefer this because we're trying to get extension. We're not necessarily trying to load the tension on the head. That would still accomplish the same basic idea. So you can play with that. I'm gonna go with my dumbbells first. Get stable and solid here over the dumbbells and observe my basic functional patterns here with my head is going to be up, head and eyes. I'm gonna be breathing through my nose. So we're owning our breath pattern. If we can't own our breath, it's basically too heavy. It's not gonna be a restorative loaded reset pattern technically. It's going to be something just performance-based, which isn't necessarily bad, but I would not generally choose this pattern for this. I'm basically getting the best of both worlds with some nice loading, lighting up this posterior chain, back half of the muscles. Each side is having to work. I don't want to, again, dive down and dump down into this. I want to be nice and connected. Generally, I like to add a hold in there, not holding too long, but I really want to feel those muscles contract and make sure everything is linking and syncing together. Same thing with the kettlebells. Just show you a couple of those. I would not recommend putting on your hands on the handle, especially with light kettlebells. I would reach down in here and you'll see a little bit why here as I'm coming back to. It's just going to make more sense with that pattern. This is just an 8-kilo kettlebell. That's plenty of load here for me on the lat. So what my goal is here to sync everything up and feel like my head is loaded and fatiguing at about the same rate as my arm coming back, loading on that side, and my opposite leg. I want everything to fatigue at about the same rate. If you're gonna do holds, probably 5 to 10 reps would be fine. Or if we want to think about like a minute of time under tension, that's a pretty good range. Max I would probably ever do would be about 2 minutes. That would be pure muscle endurance, rehabby stuff as more of like a finisher type of pattern. Generally wouldn't recommend this on the front end or as a more restorative primer wake up or something you could even splice in between your sets. So it has a lot of application. Never a bad thing, I don't think, to get that posterior chain, that back half to be working harder and better. Smart, very athletic in nature. You have that triple extension. I'm extending at each joint, only a good thing. Some common form faults, like I was kind of talking about a little bit earlier, when people come back as they're reaching, sometimes you'll see this shoulder will come disconnected. The head will definitely tend to start to come down. Again, check in with your breathing. That's your baseline. How am I doing? If I can go back and hold or do a whole diaphragmatic breath sequence while I'm back there, then I really own that position. And that may be an indicator for me to be able to go up a little bit and weight. You could potentially go off of the knees like this. That would be really hard. Generally wouldn't recommend this for this particular variation. I would usually go heavier add more weight kind of thing for this kind of purpose, rather than make it more unstable. And then that becomes a lot more core and stability oriented, rather than being able to load this kind of heavy and really get those deeper muscle contractions without a ton. You know, this is a very safe environment, very combination of that coordination and drive, feel the burn, kind of pumping up the muscles, if you want to think about it that way. So it's armoring, it's all this neurological core connection. Again, very rich, safe pattern. I think it would be very hard to injure yourself on this one, so of course don't try, but give that one a try. Again, this is the fully loaded speed skater, so check it out.